Manchester United didn't just lose this game 2-1, they exposed a massive problem. And I called it before the game. The moment I didn't see Kobbie Mainoo in that starting lineup, I knew there was trouble. Now listen, there are 3 reasons why Manchester United did not win that game. I'm going to point out the first 2. The first one, no Kobbie Mainoo equals no control. I told you the importance of Kobbie Mainoo in the way that Michael Carrick wants to play. And number 2, the midfield disconnect. A massive disconnect between the midfield and the attack when you don't see that connector, which is Kobbie Mainoo. But the third reason, now that's the one that nobody's talking about. And that's the one that completely changed the game. So stay tuned until the end of the video if you want to find out what that reason is. This wasn't about Manuel Ugarte starting. This is about Kobbie Mainoo and what he gives you compared to any other Manchester United midfielder. Now, when looking at Ugarte, of course, we know Manchester United do not have that player in him that can play under pressure. Ugarte, we've already analyzed how he himself, as a midfielder, I don't know how he's playing at this level. The reason why I say this is because he does not really scan enough to play at this level. He does not know what's happening before he receives the ball. Oftentimes you see him receive it square on with his body like this, and then there's 2 or 3 players. He doesn't know what to do. The information he receives is based off the picture that he sees. And if you don't have a picture as a midfielder, you do not know what you're going to do, even when you're pressed and even when you have time. That's why it always takes him 2-3 seconds, even when he has the ball. And then you heard the crowd go, oh, whoa, whoa. But anyway, in general, Kobbie Mainoo playing in that role allows Manchester United to connect passes. Now, what I mean by that is, let's say Lisandro passes it to Kobbie Mainoo. Because he's a player that is very aware of his surroundings, and Kobbie Mainoo does not mind playing 1-2 passes around. He can play that first time to Casemiro, receive it back from Casemiro, straight to Cunha to Bruno, and obviously we know Cunha, Bruno. Anyway, listen, the passes are moving faster, allowing the connection to happen between the defense, the midfield, and the attack. Now, when you have a player that breaks down moves like Ugarte, what ends up happening is this very thing. So, for example, we know Casemiro is one of Manchester United's best passers. However, Casemiro likes to play first-time passes that oftentimes get intercepted in this part. However, with Kobbie Mainoo, with those short little passes that he plays in between, it allows the game to flow. It allows United to have sustained periods of pressure and push up the pitch. So if you give the ball to now Ugarte, who now panics or doesn't know what to do, or more often than not, loses that football, he plays it into here or he plays it into here, and Manchester United are left wanting. Oftentimes we saw what happened is Ugarte will come into this role, Lamens, and I mean this happened quite a few times, will play that pass in to Ugarte, and Manchester United almost lose the ball or playing around here, and that's very dangerous against a team like Leeds, who are coming into this game, historical game by the way, trying to win it. Relegation battle, you're playing Manchester United, they are going to press Manchester United. So what Manchester United needed to do once they saw Ugarte in that lineup is to forget all that, because you don't want Casemiro isolated, you don't want to expose Ugarte's weaknesses. So Lamens, that should be a long pass into Benjamin Sesko, who won a lot of his aerial duels. That's the one where you want to win the knockdowns and then you play from there. Michael Carrick obviously used that tactic a few times in the game, but we saw Ruben Amorim, especially in, I think it was October, they played Sunderland. From that moment on, they used to use that tactic to win the second balls, and I think that's what Manchester United should have done, because Ugarte is capable of actually winning the ball. That is one of his strengths. So now, because Michael Carrick didn't opt to do that, all it did was expose these two. It exposed the fact that he didn't have legs because he was isolated and United didn't keep possession enough. It exposed the fact that you couldn't get Matheus Cunha into the game enough. So that means Matheus Cunha, who we know likes to come inside. Yes, sometimes he does go on the outside, but a lot of the times he will come inside. And because Luke Shaw's not willing to do that overlap that much, it's going to cause a lot of pressure in this zone. So you didn't really see much of Matheus Cunha, which when Kobbie Mainoo plays, you do see a lot of Matheus Cunha. So a lot of people that are criticizing Kobbie Mainoo, I don't know what you guys were doing. Again, in a formation like this, you will see more often than not Amad Diallo. Why? Because he's more liable to play on the wing. He will stay on the touchline, whereas Matheus Cunha, rather than be here, Matheus Cunha will come inside. So therefore, you will see more of Amad. It's just the fact that Amad is not in great form at the moment. I believe 2 goals to assist in Premier League. It's been off. It's been off. I don't really want to go into criticizing Amad. I'm going to kind of leave this one out, but it's not been the best of seasons for Amad Diallo based off the game time that he has played. So in reality, one of the big problems is actually Benjamin Sesko. I need him to be more aggressive. 6'5" Slovenian striker, hold the defenders, grab them, pull them, hold up the ball, use your body, use your legs. Come on. We need aggression, that bite. I mean, when he scored against Everton, I thought, you know what, this guy is ready to be that guy. But yesterday, I saw why Michael Carrick can't start him in too many games. There's still a lot to learn. And because Benjamin Sesko does not bring others into play enough, it causes a lot of problems in Manchester United's build-up play unless you're going aerially, like I said, into Benjamin Sesko, which he will win that one. A lot of the times, if he wins that knockdown, Manchester United can now attack further up the field. But when it comes to his feet, I think that becomes a problem because these 3 in this area are not ball retention specialists. You see this with Erling Haaland. You see this with other strikers that are not the best at hold up play. If the midfield is not as good as Manchester City's at keeping the ball, you're going to have a problem. And even in that, Manchester City still need Haaland to be a big part of their hold up play and the ball progressive play in the midfield. Now, Manchester United lacked because of that. That's one thing that I can say Bryan Mbeumo can actually do better than Benjamin Sesko. Granted, he's a young striker, but that affects Manchester United, and that's why he's been better coming off the bench. It's helped him. Again, when I look at Cunha's gameplay yesterday, I just think without Kobbie Mainoo, a lot of those passing lanes or passes won't get into there quick because we know Matheus Cunha is also good at that link-up play. Can play those 1-2s into Bruno Fernandes and progress the ball. Amad was poor. Mazraoui's not going to do too much overlapping. Neither is Luke Shaw. He didn't have the best of games, and that's where Manchester United came up short actually attacking. But again, this area of the pitch was weak, and they have to do better when it comes to controlling those games and sustaining periods of pressure in the build-up play. United failed when it came to pressing because the coordination wasn't there, the timing wasn't there, and the pressing triggers were not there. Now, let me just give you a bit of education. Because Leeds played 5 at the back, the 3 centre-backs, anytime the passes came into here, you can just leave him. Benjamin Sesko, you can stand there. You don't necessarily need to press that centre-back. As soon as he plays that pass into there, listen, Amad Diallo has to be there because what happens is the wing-back pushes up here and the wing-back pushes up there. So Amad Diallo, you have to press that. As soon as that pass is played, you have to press that because they're playing those 5 at the back, meaning there is not a numerical advantage in midfield. Manchester United have that extra player in there. So what that means is Mazraoui has to also, as soon as that pass is played there, has to be right on his back. He cannot play that ball forward. At all costs, this pass cannot go forward. I'm telling you, Luke Shaw the same on this side. Same with Matheus Cunha. Press him into there. If he plays that pass, because Matheus Cunha could literally just open up his body, say, listen, I'm telling you to pass it there. Because Luke Shaw, as soon as that pass is played from there to here, listen, Luke Shaw has to be there on his back. That's what Manchester United have to do when they play this formation, especially at home. Leeds should not be allowed to build up from the back. They should not be allowed to play out. But there was no intensity in this game for Manchester United. And when you start games with no intensity, especially games against Leeds United, what do you expect to happen? Now, Leeds should have scored 5, 6. Manchester United were lucky to be in it. But in reality, the pressing was poor, and that cost us. That really cost us and set the tone, especially of the first half. Now, apart from that, I always see a lot of criticism towards players. Euro was criticised from Manchester United fan base a lot again. I don't know what they want, but he's a young centre-back. There will always be errors in his game. I don't think it was his worst game either. I just think there's a lot of things that happen in that game that Manchester United need to address. One of them is the refereeing decisions, and BGMOL and the FA are against Manchester United. That's already listen, we already know that's a given. They complained in the last game against Bournemouth almost a month ago and come into the next game against Leeds and have absolutely diabolical decisions. And this is the third thing, the most important thing about this game. And the reason why Manchester United actually lost this game is because of the refereeing decisions. Despite of how poor Manchester United were, there is no way on this footballing earth that the first goal is allowed. In football, you've seen Euro jump up to win the ball. He's jumped up to head it. And the ball that he's going to jump up and head is actually going towards his head. He's ahead of Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin extends his arm, and his arm hits the face of Euro, causing Euro to not actually get that contact on the ball. And now, because a clean contact wasn't made on the ball, it falls down to Okafor, who scores. How have VAR missed this? How has the referee missed this? How has the linesman missed this? Now, if the ref and the linesman miss it, there's no way that VAR can miss it and allow it to be a goal. That makes absolutely zero sense. In a world of football, you can't. And then you hear people like Gary Neville and Roy Keane say, oh, we love that in the game. We love that in the game. Now, shut up, man. What do you mean you love that in the game? This is football. Do you understand? Like, if there is something wrong, you point it out. You have facts. Facts. When you see a foul is a foul. It's not about when you played football in 1920, whatever. We're not playing in 1920s. If it's a foul, it is a foul. Stop doing this thing. All these pundits, Martin Keown, sometimes they say, oh, back in my day, you know what? We understand. And this is why I like Thierry Henry. Because Thierry Henry comes out and says, listen, it's not my day. It's not your day anymore. That's a foul. In football today, that is a clear foul. That goal should not have stood. No matter how bad Manchester United were, that's a diabolical decision. That's number one. Dominic Calvert-Lewin doesn't get penalized. Leeds go 1-0 up. Changes the game. Now let's look at Lisandro Martinez. So the initial foul that Dominic Calvert-Lewin caused to have his hand, his arm in the face of Lisandro Martinez. And if you look at it, if you want to be circumspect, you can see there's a bit of a hair pull on Lisandro Martinez as well. It's similar. It's almost like his fingers are just through the hair. It's not really a hair pull. And then Lisandro Martinez jumping up, not even looking and knowing where exactly Calvert-Lewin is placed. Literally the same thing happened, where his hands are literally just caught through his hair and he unties the band. And then Calvert-Lewin goes to tell the ref that his hair got pulled. Like, I don't understand that. And on top of that, this same referee goes to the screen and says, that's a red card for violent conduct. 3-match ban for that. Listen, it happened with Semenyo in the Premier League. Semenyo got his hair pulled by Tete. The same referee, Tierney, goes and says, no, you know what? That's not a red card. Interesting, because in this action, actually, Tete actually pulls Semenyo's hair. It's not even a thing of where he's just there, you know, trying to win the ball. He pulls his hair off the ball. Should be a red card. No consistency. Guess what else happens in the Premier League? Yes, you have David Brooks. And Cucurella is running away from him. And Brooks pulls his hair. Guess what he gets? A yellow card. They've gone and reviewed it. He gets a yellow card. How can they clear an obvious error for a hair pull that they want to tell you that this hair pull is a definite red card? Apparently now, when it's Manchester United, is given a yellow card. So that begs the question then. So Manchester United have got terrible decisions this season where VAR haven't even come into play. We saw about the Ahmad penalty against Bournemouth. Manchester United already had a conversation about that. Against Aston Villa, Ahmad's shirt was pulled, nothing given. Against Burnley, Kyle Walker stands on Dogu. Nothing given in real time. VAR don't even look at it in real time. It is clear that this season is rigged. They know that they want Arsenal to win the league. If you're not an Arsenal fan, we all understand they want Arsenal to win the league. We saw the penalty Arsenal got given. We understand that. However, against Manchester United, some of the decisions are horrible, horrific. In fact, there are so many decisions this season where I've looked at it. I'm like, that's a penalty. Saliba against Arsenal on the first day. I look at this decision. I say, oh, they didn't give am I the penalty? But they gave Bournemouth a penalty and they gave Harry Maguire a red card. He's suspended now and was suspended for yesterday's game. Look at Lisandro Martinez. I mean, you look at Calvert-Lewin's what he's done, and he's literally fouled Martinez first and nothing was given in that case. I'm just looking at it, I'm thinking, yeah, they just want to go against Manchester United. And we get it. We can see it. It's absolutely terrible. Maybe Euro should go down and milk it. But we saw what happened with the goal as well for Bournemouth. The goal for Leeds United, the second goal where Bruno Fernandes was fouled. Bruno Fernandes was fouled in the build-up to that goal. And it was from behind. However, oh yeah, he got the ball, etc. From behind, you're getting the ball. And then what happened? He milked it. Did he get the decision? No, he didn't. Again, horrific refereeing. Carrick came out and criticized the referee. Bruno said, I don't want to be in trouble because of the referee. Don't want to blame it. But in reality, without those refereeing decisions, Manchester United do not lose that game. You take Kobbie Mainoo out of the team and Manchester United collapse. That's not depth. That's dependency. And that's a big, big problem. Not a new one. We know we need a midfield. We know we need a new midfield. However, that's the reason why Manchester United were robbed, but also lost this game. Cupola, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share, and I'll see you soon.